Hi guys, welcome to episode 2 of Interaction with Team GM Clients, and today we have another special guest. He is a men's physique competitor by heart, but I pushed him into Classic Physique. He's done 2 shows till now. One he had done before starting with me, and one he's done with me. And since then we have made some good progress. So his name is Rohan Kurup, and he is also an online fitness coach. He plans to take all my clients in the future, and hopefully he doesn't. So, hi, how are you?
Hello sir, thank you for having me.
Yeah, so it's great that you could take out time today because you were from Mumbai and you were here for some work, and we had great fun along with the work. So taking out time, especially in a in-person kind of a setup, was hard because you stay in Mumbai. But anyways, it's great that we could meet up today.
Yeah, for sure. I'm so excited. This is my first podcast ever. And
oh, really?
No better person to start it off with.
Great. So my first question to you is like, if I ask you about your health and your physique, so how was it before we started?
So I would say before we started, I don't think I was doing bodybuilding in the most healthy manner possible, be it with the food, maybe eating way too much food, not prioritizing digestion so much, maybe eating a lot more protein than required, and also in terms of the assistance side of things, definitely not doing things in the healthiest manner, blood work, stuff like that. Yeah.
And before you started, like, what were your biggest struggles, if I may ask you?
So one of the biggest things I would say is that connection with the coach. So I had the pleasure of working with like a really good coach, but because of the location differences and the timing differences and also cultural differences, I was not able to get the kind of support and closure I was looking for from a coaching relationship.
Okay. That was the only struggle you had? Like in terms of
bodybuilding wise, I would say now that I reflect upon it, my training was definitely way more excessive. Recovery was not the best, and yeah.
So since where was your coach located?
In the US.
So if somebody asks you what's the main difference between coaching with somebody who's abroad or not from the same culture, compared to somebody who's Indian, what's the main difference in your opinion? One
of the main differences is that a coach in India understands what foods we've grown up eating, what foods are easily accessible to us. Small things like spices and things that India is very popular for. Those things were kind of lacking in my life. Working with an Indian coach takes care of that. Also, just resourcefulness, be it the smallest things like where do you get your tan, or how do you go about that, or your supplementation, food. That's also been a big game changer after starting to work with you, considering you're from here. So
I also worked with a couple of Western coaches. So the thing I found the most challenging was like the time issue. So when if somebody's from the US, usually there's a 12-hour gap.
Yeah.
And when you were in the peak week or the contest prep, so that
was very chaotic.
That's one big problem.
That was very chaotic. In fact, I would say it was completely different with you. You were literally with me each and every day before the show, and even at the show, right before pumping up to the stage. I was lucky enough to have you by my corner, helping me pump up, even get some photos and stuff with me. So that is just something that you can't get if you're working with someone from a different country. So
so if we go like 10 years back, there were very few Indian coaches. The only Indian coach I knew then was like Harry Sandhu. And other than that, everybody used to get coached from the Westerners. The main goal that time was like they know better than us, they have more exposure. So that was a major problem back then. And what I learned over the years was the things which we don't get from them, my main goal was to kind of give it to my clients, or like provide everyone, the things we don't get from them. So like meeting up, staying together as if we are prepping, then they give you plans in a certain way, like everything is not mentioned sometimes. Most of their plans are cookie cutter, but like if you get a good coach like the one you got, I wouldn't say in that case, but like earlier on, like they used to charge so much, so the fees were so high, and then the plan was such cookie cutter, and like so it wasn't a very great experience. The only best experience I had working with a Western coach was Lane Norton, but again he only gave me macros, so I was okay with doing macros because I had been kind of prepping since a long time. But for somebody new, that's also kind of a challenge.
Yeah.
So, but nowadays, like with the access of Indian coaches, things have certainly improved.
Yeah, they have improved. But I would say it's like there's two sides to look at it. I still believe that highest quality coaching is not where it could be in India. There are a few select few coaches that I would say I would have been comfortable working with. You were definitely at the top of my list. I'm sure the viewers will also see probably in the next episode, but you also coach my wife. And that's a big thing for me, that the person who coaches my wife is someone that I have to absolutely trust. So, yeah.
Then we need to get a wife also on the podcast, I guess.
Yeah.
So, like, what are the one or two specific achievements which you unlocked working with Team GM or me?
Okay. So, first, from a purely competitive point of view, not growing up, but ever since I started my fitness journey, and I kind of thought that ek din to compete karenge. I knew it was going to be men's physique for me. That's just what's come most natural to me. I never thought that I'll wear trunks and like V trunks, Classic Physique trunks, and pose on stage. You helped me kind of step out of my comfort zone, and I came like second in Classic Physique in the NPC Kerala show. That was my first ever time competing in Classic Physique. That was an achievement for me. Just doing something that was scary, doing something that was new. Then fast forward a month later, the actual Sheru Classic show, I came in like top 10 in my first time competing in Classic Physique. Obviously not the placing I would have wanted, but I would say for the first time it's great. And that was a huge achievement for me. So thank you for pushing me for that.
You did really well in Classic Physique. So if I kind of have to choose a category between the two, I would definitely choose Classic Physique for you. Reason being that your legs, especially your glutes, hamstrings, are kind of your best body part, you can say.
Yeah.
And even with not training them directly, you still grow them.
Yeah.
So like hiding your best body part isn't the best idea.
Yeah.
And we just need more size for Classic Physique, I would say. But you still do great in men's physique too. But once you put on muscle, then we can kind of choose one category and kind of shift there. And why do you like men's physique more than Classic Physique though?
So it's not that I like one more than the other. It's just that posing wise, that's been the main thing. I think men's physique posing is a little simpler compared to Classic Physique. And I have kind of, my fitness journey has come up in the era of Sadiq and Jeremy Buendia and all. I was just always so fascinated by those guys and just copying how they used to pose, dressing like them. That's what my journey was initially. So this kind of shift into Classic is new, but I'm definitely open to it.
Yeah. And so your main achievement was you winning the Kerala show, like placing second. Anything else?
Yes, it's actually not related to the competitions, but I'd say the way you coach and just how systematic you are about things. You mentioned that coaches abroad charge a lot and give cookie cutter plans. Like I would say the way you handle our entire, not just contest like peak week, but also just the whole off season, improvement season, the way you deliver the plans, everything is like on an exact date. There's no guesswork and it's very organized and systematic. That has actually helped me do a better job at like my job as well. So, we are like really young coaches in our careers, and when we work with someone like you, apart from our physique, it also kind of helps us grow in our entrepreneurial life. Yeah. So
yeah, that kind of helps because even me myself have kind of learned some bits and pieces from the coaches I worked from. So that process I think kind of always works. So if we rewind before we started, like, and you knew about me like before joining me, right?
Yeah.
So where did you get to know about me first?
So I'd say it was Instagram, and Instagram and the fitness community, like in India, it's not that big. It's kind of everybody kind of knows off of each other, and you've always had a really good reputation. And I think the first time I saw you was somebody that I was following. I think reshared your story, something. I'm not really sure what it was exactly, but that's when I knew that okay, he's one of the few evidence-based coaches that we have who's actually invested in his travel and education and gone around the world, learned from some of the best names. So that's when you stood out to me, and that was when the seed was planted. Okay, this is GURADESH MANN sir.
So what was holding you back to work with me?
So I would say,
if you knew about me earlier on.
Yeah, so I would say I think I found out about you right around the same time when I started working with my coach. And after that, like I'm someone who believes in loyalty and giving a relationship time. So ideally I would have not wanted to change things if not required. So yeah, that was the reason why I didn't immediately start. But I knew that like if I'm going to work with someone in India, it was going to be you. And yeah.
That's great. It's been awesome working with you, because I remember the first call in which we did together. You were pretty excited of working, and like you mentioned about the Team GM video, which you had seen about us in Mumbai. So you're probably one of the most interactive clients I have, and he asks a lot of questions. So if you don't know, like the best people I like to coach are the ones who ask the most questions, because the more questions you ask, and like me, I'm not that expressive. You can say like, if you don't talk to me, I won't start the conversation in most cases unless it's very needed. Then if you want to take the best out of coaching from me, you need to ask tons of questions, and you kind of do the best at it. And the more questions you ask, the chances of making mistakes also reduce.
So.
And you also learn in the process, and you also develop a good relationship. So anyone who asks good questions to me, I always have a good relationship with them.
Yeah, thank you for being patient through all my questions.
Yeah, so patience is needed, and definitely like asking questions has helped you, because if you like, I've seen a lot of clients of mine who don't ask questions, they ask their fellow clients, like so they'll call them and see, because they're scared to talk to me sometimes. So everybody has a different way of conversing, but they do get their answer. But I would still say, like, if you can ask questions directly, that really helps.
Yeah.
So in terms of your physique transformation, like if we compare before and if we compare it to now, what do you think have the changes been? I wouldn't say now, because you just got married and you were in a maintenance phase. So you were a bit better before that.
Yeah.
So I would just compare, you can say like 8 weeks post-show. How would you compare your physique before starting and 8 weeks post-show?
8 weeks post-show too?
Before we started.
Right. So, I mean, everything's changed. I've definitely gained a lot of muscle. I was about one. I need to pull out this the calculator to tell you exactly how much I weighed.
I think it was 92.
Yeah, but my stage weight was around 84.
Okay.
Yeah, so like just working, we didn't have a very long improvement season, but in the time that we had together, I've put on a lot of muscle. I'd say I lacked size. I still need to work on my size, but my frame is really filled out. My legs have come up a lot. That has always been a strength, but we've doubled down on that strength. Overall, I would say that foundation has gotten stronger.
Yeah, so I think you have put on more muscle on the legs, even though we didn't train them much. Initially we did. Then other than that, your back has improved. Your shoulders have become more rounder.
Yeah.
And that's the physique point of view.
Yeah.
In terms of health, what changes do you think have you seen?
Oh, health is like the number one thing. So, I mean, everybody knows that like bodybuilding at a high level is something that you need to be careful with, like, you know, health-wise and stuff. So, the biggest issue I faced was my skin. My skin health was not the best. You know, I used to get a lot of acne and stuff. That is pretty much non-existent now. Like I rarely get an acne here or there. And just like the amount of times we do blood work, you know, I can like proudly say that I'm doing bodybuilding in the healthiest manner possible. Even the labs we did, the blood work we did post the show, which is usually when your blood work is skewed. Post the show also, our blood work was pretty good. And like, we just got my blood work done, I think 1 month ago, and it's phenomenal. Like if you saw my reports, you'd not even be able to say that I'm a bodybuilder, you know. So, yeah.
in terms of your goals, so what are your next goals?
I mean, however cliche it sounds, in terms of bodybuilding, I want to go pro. But like, I'm okay to take my time with it. That's also something that's been really beneficial. Working with you, my mindset has changed. You know, I used to think for some reason that like, oh, when I'm closer to 30, I need to like retire. And if you just don't rush the process, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if you take things slow and you don't just keep chasing this pro card, right? You just focus on improving every show. If you do everything right and you're patient, then you will eventually get there. So that's my belief, that's my goal. So I'm not even saying the next time I compete, I want to win my pro card. I don't have that mindset anymore. I just want to do better. I want to make sure that the next time I compete on stage, there's a huge difference from my last showing, all while doing things as healthy as possible. I'd say that's my goal.
Yeah, so we can come back to the thing that if you can make it a lifestyle, change gears accordingly, it becomes pretty easy.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say it's something related to age. You can definitely compete later on too. But winning a pro card, not winning a pro card would depend upon a few things. One is definitely your genetics. So, and secondly, who shows up against you. So the more shows you kind of compete in, the bigger shows you compete in, the talent pool is also going to be bigger. The other people who come are also going to be good.
Yeah.
So that also applies. So certain amount of luck, how your genetics are, then how your work ethics are, how you diet, how you rest, how you train. So everything we can't control, but the things which we can't control is like your nutrition, how you can follow the plan. So the easier it is, and you'll follow it for. And most people kind of just follow it during prep, last 12 weeks, 16 weeks, and then the off season it's not an off season, it's kind of free.
Fat season.
Yeah, fat season. So they kind of mess it up there and they forget about the off season. So if somebody wants to turn pro, definitely they need to be giving it at least their 100%, at least for 9 or 10 months in a year.
Yeah.
And like either they can take a few days off in between, or like they can take 1 month off. There are different ways of doing it. But like in your case, you were getting married.
Yeah.
And still you were pretty much on the plan most of the time. Though you were worried that your clothes might not fit, or like all the fittings together might make an effect. But still you managed to kind of stay pretty much in shape.
Yeah.
And you also ate out. So 3 days back, we went for a vacation.
Yeah.
And we ate as much as we wanted to.
Yeah, we had a great time.
Now you are headed back tomorrow. So you'll be back to the plan now?
Immediately, first thing.
Yeah, so that's where I think people get it wrong. So whenever you're home, whenever you are staying, in your normal environment, you should try to stay on the plan.
Yeah.
And just limit your meals, maybe one cheat meal a week.
Yeah.
That kind of helps you to maintain your sustainability. And when you're partying, when you're kind of going on a vacation, you probably shouldn't be worrying about your diet too much. Like a little bit you should be. But since the vacation was with me, so I generally give my clients a full weight. They can eat as much as they like.
A full free pass.
Yeah. So that's once in a while.
Yeah.
Anyways. And so if we talk about such an amazing physique you've got, how did you get here?
Okay. I wanted to say this at some point in today's podcast, but my training. So I would say I've always kind of also tried to stay in touch with the research and not get too emotional about training. But before I started working with you, there was a small period where I kind of shifted away from research-based training, and it became all about like drop sets and supersets. And not that all of those kind of trainings don't have a place in time, but I would say I was overtraining and definitely under-recovered. And working with you has changed that completely. I've also understood that bodybuilding is a dysfunctional sport, technically. Like, we're trying to grow like each muscle of ours in a certain way, sometimes more than another muscle. So that means we have to like adjust our form and technique accordingly. So we did a camp as well this year in Jan. I came over to your place. You trained me in person, corrected a lot of my form. I've been training now for 12 years. And I would say, in spite of that, there were things that were like, oh shit, this is like the first time I'm doing this way. So yeah, you never stop learning. And that has also been a huge, just gift. Like, thank you for that. Like, you've just taken my training to a whole other level.
Yeah, and I also feel like a lot of people kind of just keep on focusing on the muscles they like to train, and those keep on growing more, and the weak body parts tend to get ignored. They don't like to train them. So bodybuilding is more about having a balanced physique, and our goal with you right now is also to do the same.
Yeah.
So overall size, I would say, then a little bit more on the chest, and everything else kind of seems balanced, and more definition on the legs, the quads basically. That will kind of improve your overall package, and training definitely has a greater impact in that, because most people tend to kind of push it too much in terms of the intensity, the volume, so everything is generally high.
Yeah.
And they forget that recovery happens outside the gym, and since the damage is happening too much, the recovery kind of compromises, and then nutrition is the second part. So you've pretty much reduced your training quite a lot since you started.
We don't do drop sets and all of that anymore. There's no need for it. It's just working sets and making sure that what we're doing is as efficient as possible. Like, we're getting the job done with minimum effective volume, ideally, and only adding it when it's required. Another thing that's been really helpful is because Team GM has a community, and we have Sanmeet as a part of that community, who according to me is the best classic physique pro in India. During my last few weeks when I was competing for my first classic physique show, having him and you guide me in terms of posing, if I didn't do that, I don't know what I would have done on stage. And obviously it's far from perfect, but that was really helpful. So that's also another area that I'm excited to work on, is posing and holding a pose and everything.
Yeah, but for a first show, you did pretty much amazing.
Thank you.
And men's physique, you're anyways a pro in posing. And we actually competed once together, right?
Yes,
that was your first show.
Yeah.
So you did show me some pictures.
Yeah, we can display that on the screen.
Yeah, we'll do that. And that was your first show, right?
Yeah, and I'd say that also played a role in terms of, I said like the GURADESH MANN seed was planted in my head, because I think in that show it was not just you competing, but I think Rohan was also competing, Sanmeet was also competing. I don't know who else was at that time. And I saw all of you all together.
Yeah, there were like 13 people competing together.
Yeah, 2022, right? October,
yeah,
Mumbai.
22, yeah, Mumbai.
And even then when I saw Sanmeet, like his physique just stood out, like everything. Like, he's not the biggest guy, but just so balanced. And seeing him, seeing you, and there was one point, when we were pumping up, since we were competing in Class D in men's physique, where I saw you just so relaxed before stepping on stage, and you were just doing a really light pump up with the bands.
Achha, I wasn't actually.
No, you were.
I wasn't relaxed actually.
Achha, you weren't relaxed, okay. But you seemed like that. Yeah. And I was obviously like a noob, it's my first show, so I was going hard and doing push-ups and all, and not realizing that I might sweat, my tan might get ruined. And like, even seeing you that time, I was like, there is something to this, and I need to learn, so yeah.
That was a crazy show for me, because in the peak week, I had planned that everyone will stay together. And I kind of misjudged the coaching part. Like, there were 13 people competing, so like making their plans every day, then preparing my own food, then eating. So it was kind of pretty hard. And like, there were some guys who were competing after a very long time. They also needed emotional support. So I was just hardly sleeping like 3 or 4 hours every day that
wow.
week. And I didn't know if I was going to compete or not. So it was like, I had fever on the day of the weigh-in. And my idea was that I'll prep and I'll gauge if I can compete or not. So up till the day of the weigh-in, it wasn't sure if I was going to compete. Then I decided maybe everything's looking good and everybody's on plan. So I said I'm going to compete too. Then everybody also got more motivated, because they were thinking it's very hard, but since I was coaching, I was taking care of everyone, and I was myself competing, I was sick, so everybody kind of boosted everyone's confidence.
And just to add on to that, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, you still came in top 5.
Yeah, so that was my first show I placed in after ages.
That says something.
And that was my first Shiru Classic, I would say, like IHFF. So I placed 4th, so I was pretty happy. Had I competed in Classic Physique, maybe I would have made the top 3.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't, and I made a mistake on that part.
So we learn.
Yeah. And if you were to give top 3 tips to anybody who wants to compete or wants to improve their physique or wants to have a physique like Rohan, what would the main 3 tips be for you, since you've been training since you were 15 years old, right?
Yeah, 15, 16.
Yeah, so you would be somebody, since you've been training such a long time, you've been dieting, you've tried different coaches, you've tried different approaches. What 3 tips would you give, which would be the best in your opinion for people to improve their physique or compete?
Okay, so if the question is specific to physique, right, that means like if that's the primary goal, then the training style needs to match that. So I'd say like getting really specific about that and choosing exercise selection, like the exercise selection needs to be in alignment with that goal. Not that you can get like results doing pretty much any exercise, but there is still some exercises that might be better. So I guess what I'm trying to say is kind of learning why you're training that way and just making sure your training is aligned with that goal. That's the first kind of tip I'd say. Second, I'd say is you need to make this a lifestyle. So your nutrition firstly should not look completely different when you're cutting down or for a prep versus in the off season, improvement season, growth phase. Jo bhi kind of like it should look pretty much the same. The food should look the same. Sorry. And I guess it's just the quantities that should change depending on the goal. So yeah, a sustainable diet and making it a lifestyle would be number 2.
And number 3?
Get a coach.
Okay, that's a good one. I like that one. And since you were talking about a diet, what's your daily diet like? And like, let's not talk about the off-season one.
Yeah.
We talk about the during prep. And I think the third tip should be how to improve the way you eat your food. Since you and your wife are pretty creative on the food part.
Yes, for sure. So question kya tha?
Question वही था, third tip. Probably that could be, since if you can tell everyone what you eat in a day, is when you were prepping for the show. That will also give them an idea how you can change your food ingredients in a way and make them taste a bit better.
So basically, like I said, the foods kind of remain the same through the year, but even in prep, like I was having oats, parathas, rice, whatever I wanted, all the different carb sources, potatoes. But the magic and the fun is when you take these same ingredients and you try different things. So with oats, Chani and I have made pancakes. With oats, we've also made chillas. We've had regular bowl of oats. So there are so many things you can do with certain foods. You know, we also, like I had a meal of like, let's say potatoes, veggies and chicken. So at one point, to make things creative, we stuffed the potatoes and veggies and made a cutlet together. And we did all of this without actually changing like the nutritional profile of the meal. So the calories were the same, the nutrition was the same, just a bit of difference in terms of the recipe. And that made prep almost not feel like a prep. So getting creative with your foods is definitely a plus. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Ninja Creami?
My thoughts on Ninja Creami. Seriously, पूछ रहे हो?
Yeah.
I think
should people buy it?
I think people should get something like this if it's easily accessible in
So
India.
what is a Ninja Creami though? Like not everyone might be.
Yeah, Ninja Creami is basically like a...
Everyone doesn't have access to it, no? Only a certain few people have.
So a Ninja Creami is basically like an ice cream maker. You can make a lot of things with it, but we primarily used it to make whey protein ice creams. Just added water, sometimes maybe a little bit of milk if the prep calories allowed it. And we put our whey protein and we made some really yummy ice creams. At least in prep, they really helped me get through things. Because if you have like a scoop of whey with water and just like have it versus you have an ice cream, that's going to fill you up a lot more. So sometimes that really helps with satiety and stuff during prep.
That's great. And another tip you had given was like get a coach.
Yeah.
So would you recommend Team GM to somebody if somebody asks you?
100%. I think
to your friends and family.
Yes. For sure, if you're in India, contest prep or lifestyle clients, whatever it is, I would say that like you're in probably the best hands you can be in.
Thank you very much. So I would want you to let everyone know about your Instagram handle.
Yeah, my handle is Rohan Kurup Fitness.
And I would want everybody to go to his page and see, because he also posts some very informative stuff, and his page is also very motivating, so do definitely check it out. And that's all for today. It was great having you over and getting to know about your thoughts and how things have gone with you since we started. And before that, any other thing you would like to say before signing off?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, sir. It's such an honor. This is my first podcast, and to do it with you, it's been a great journey so far, and I'm just so excited for what's to come over the next couple of months and years of us working together.
So am I, because since you are very dedicated throughout the year, like very few people are, and the way you kind of manage your food most of the time, you're definitely going to go a long way. We just need time and patience, which you already have. The only thing we need is time.
Yeah.
So definitely you're going to do well.
Yes, thank you.
So guys, thank you for watching. And how do you like this episode? Please do mention in the comments. And if you want us to cover anything else, do let us also know that. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to get more updates about interviews and other knowledgeable stuff. So thanks for watching. See you guys in the next episode.